reporting from my secret underground lair. Here are the latest great news stories from greatnewspodcast.com, brought to you by The Daily Quote, a podcast designed to kickstart your day in a positive way. Are you tired of all the doom and gloom news from mainstream media? You'll get none of that here. Instead, you'll find inspiring stories and developments that are making the world a better place. I'm Andrew McGivern, and this is the Great News Podcast. Today, we're exploring a medical breakthrough that uses a single dose of a mushroom compound to potentially cure chronic pain and depression simultaneously. Plus, we have an AI system mapping the heart to find new uses for old drugs, a massive genetic map of how the human brain builds itself, and a way to refresh the brain's immune cells to fight off Alzheimer's. And don't forget to stick around to the end for the speed round, where we'll dive into even more great news. First up, our lead story today, a medical advancement that could provide lasting relief for the 1.5 billion people worldwide suffering from chronic pain. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania have discovered that a single dose of psilocybin, the active compound in magic mushrooms, can calm brain circuits tied to both pain and mood. Chronic pain and depression are often deeply entangled, creating a vicious cycle of suffering. But this study shows we can disrupt that cycle by targeting the brain's anterior cingulate cortex, the emotional pain hub. Unlike opioids, psilocybin is non-addictive and works by bypassing the site of an injury entirely to modulate how the brain processes distress. In animal studies, a single treatment provided relief that lasted almost 2 weeks. Dr. Joseph Sitchin, the study's senior author, explains that while most drugs fully turn brain signals on or off, psilocybin acts more like a dimmer switch, adjusting them to just the right level. This opens the door for safer, longer-lasting therapies for those who have found no relief elsewhere. Now, if you like the Great News Podcast, you'll love the Great Newsletter, because the Great News Podcast is great, but the Great Newsletter is greater. Link is in the show notes. Moving on to our next featured story, AI predicts heart disease treatments using cardiac imaging. Scientists in London have developed CardioKG, a new AI method that combines detailed heart images with a knowledge graph of over 1 million biological relationships. By looking at how disease affects an individual patient's heart structure, the AI can identify existing drugs that could be repurposed to treat heart failure. So far, the model has suggested that a common rheumatoid arthritis drug, and even caffeine, might have protective effects for certain heart conditions. This could lead to more precise patient-centered care and significantly improve survival rates. Next, we look at the blueprint of the mind. A CRISPR screen uncovers hundreds of genes required for brain development. Researchers at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem have systematically switched off roughly 20,000 genes to create an essentiality map of how the brain builds itself from stem cells. They identified 331 genes essential for generating neurons, many of which were previously unknown to science. This breakthrough has already led to the discovery of a new neurodevelopmental disorder caused by a mutation in the PEDS1 gene, offering hope for improved diagnosis and targeted treatments for families worldwide. Finally, refreshing the brain's immune cells. This year has seen a meteoric rise in microglia replacement therapy. Microglia are the silent guardians of our brain, cleaning up toxic proteins and pathogens. When these cells are damaged by age or genetics, they can now be replaced with a fresh supply of healthy cells through bone marrow transplants or lab-grown cells. Early clinical trials have already shown that this can halt the decline of fatal brain diseases and may one day be used to gobble up the toxic proteins associated with Alzheimer's disease. All right, let's dive into the speed round for even more great news. England launches 5-minute cancer jabs. The NHS has become the first in Europe to offer a quick injection for immunotherapy that treats 15 types of cancer, replacing hour-long hospital drips. Researchers have developed an inhaled treatment that delivers tiny bubbles called exosomes directly to the lungs to activate the immune system against resistant cancers. A first-of-its-kind human trial found that a 5-day fasting mimicking diet activates autophagy, the body's internal spring cleaning team to repair damage at the cellular level. Carbon-negative building materials? Scientists have created enzymatic structural material, or ESM for short, which actually traps carbon dioxide into solid mineral particles, making it stronger and more sustainable alternative to concrete. A new pocket-sized food allergen detector the size of a smartphone can now detect common allergens like nuts, gluten, and dairy in just 2 minutes, providing laboratory-grade testing for people on the go. And my favorite quote of the day from the Daily Quote podcast this week is from Arnold Palmer, who once said, "The more I practice, the luckier I get." Listen to an inspiring quote every single day by following the Daily Quote podcast in your podcast app of choice. Link in the show notes. That's it for today's episode of Great News. From retuning the brain's pain receptors to using AI to map our hearts, science is solving problems we once thought were unsolvable. These aren't distant possibilities. They're happening right now. And if you love this content, be sure to follow, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little positivity today. Until next time, and there will be a next time, keep looking for the good in the world, because it's not only there, it's everywhere.